What's good, YouTube? 2K the God here, my man Sess joining me. Welcome to the Gods of Boxing Talk. And tonight we want to do a segment about what's hot. And what's hot right now, we know Canelo Alvarez got by Miguel Cotto by unanimous decision. So, at the end of the fight, my man called out Gennady Golovkin. Now what's hot is, we know Canelo wanted to fight Golovkin at 155-pound catchweight, right? Mm-hmm. We've also heard Oscar De La Hoya in the past say that the fight needs to marinate. And that's what he's saying right now once again, right? I've heard three different things from Oscar De La Hoya. The first one was, yeah, the fight will definitely happen. You know what I'm saying? Canelo will fight him 2017. Right?
Oh, no.
Then I heard, yeah, the fight will definitely happen. Canelo will fight him late 2016. Then I heard, Canelo's not ready for 160. The fight needs to come down to 155. Granted, you're fighting in that man's division. You know goddamn well that man has never weighed less than 158 pounds as a professional fighter. But you want him to come down for the biggest fight of his career to 155, possibly drained, right? We understand. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the point of this video. The point is, all the shit that Oscar De La Hoya has fed us over the last few months leading up to this mega fight between Cotto and Canelo, right? Does he really want this fight to happen? What's your take, B?
Oh, that's tough. That's real tough. I think from a monetary standpoint, you can make a case that he does. Yeah. Because the fight will be very big. Golovkin, you know, kind of has that Mexican style aura about himself, or he, you know, that's what they're selling, right? Him as Mexican style. So he's gonna be, you know, he'll bring a pretty good fan base to the fight. It'll be very interesting, you know, to see these two guys in the ring. The problem is, long term, if Canelo loses, it will definitely affect Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh, it kills him. I think it kills him.
Exactly. So, like I said, that's a very tough call. Like I said, right now, I think he wants to give it to the fans, but he's got to weigh, you know, what if Canelo loses? That has to be on his mind.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he doesn't have another superstar, you know. And Canelo's upside without Golovkin is still huge.
Yeah.
You know, he can drop back down to 54 and fight whoever he wants to fight. You know, at junior middleweight. Yep. You know, he doesn't have to stay at you know, middleweight to have a career. You know, Canelo can seemingly do whatever he wants to do right now. I mean, the gates are wide open. He can pick who he wants to fight. He can, he can do whatever. You know, he's shaping up to be the next one to take over boxing. You know, everybody wants to talk about Adrian Broner and, you know, this guy, that guy, and all. No. Right now, the guy who's taking over boxing is Canelo Alvarez. So, to answer your question, does he really want to give us that fight? I don't think so. Not right now.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. Not right now, unless there is some type of handicap in place that will give Canelo the advantage, and that is going to be the 155-pound catchweight. Spot on, B. I 100% agree. He does not have any more cash cows in his stable. The one guy that he could have made a cash cow just recently lost to Victor Postal. He lost in devastating fashion on top of that. Yeah. So he's pretty much scratched off the list. And he was the last of the Mohicans besides Canelo. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. David Lemieux as well.
Yeah, David Lemieux as well. Absolutely. I don't think David Lemieux would have really even been a cash cow even to begin with, because he's from Canada. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, oh,
Not
yeah.
shitting on Canada by any means, but it's harder to market Canadian fighters over American fighters. I mean, you'd have to be the shit. And Lemieux had holes in his game that anybody could fucking see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think he never really got to that point, would have gotten to that point anyway.
Okay.
But you're absolutely right. He will not put his guy in hot water, the only guy he has, so quickly, especially when he's in direct competition with Al Heyman and Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? Al Heyman is killing boxing right now. The only thing that De La Hoya is, quote, dangling over Al Heyman's head is Canelo Alvarez.
Exactly.
That's it. If he takes an L, possibly gets knocked the fuck out, you know what I'm saying? By a guy that's not even signed by any of these fucking top promoters, dog.
Yeah.
It fucks up Oscar De La Hoya's promotional career, B. I mean, he's almost Don King status, B. Almost. I'll put him down there with Lou DiBella and Dan Goosen after that. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, B. So, yeah, absolutely. I don't think that fight happens anytime soon. I think it will marinate. I think they will wait till Golovkin gets a little bit too old. I think what he said the first time, 2017, Golovkin will be 35 years old. Canelo will be 27. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's still young. He should be better. He has the potential to be even better than what we saw with him against Cotto. And that's what I think Oscar De La Hoya is banking on. Golovkin declining, Canelo on the incline. 2 years, it will be a good matchup for Canelo. And also, he probably will have already been at 160, and he will already be acclimated at the weight. Therefore, there won't be any problem trying to see if Canelo can actually fight at 160, which all of us know he can. The motherfucker came into the goddamn ring, you know what I'm saying, probably weighing 205 like me, you know what I'm saying, against Cotto and shit. So we all know, you know what I'm saying, my man can fight Golovkin right now, but you know, like I said, it's all politics.
All politics.
All right, next topic. My man Floyd Mayweather.
Money.
It sounds to me like he agrees with the gods of boxing talk. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we said about Freddie Roach in our prediction video and in the post-fight analysis video, Floyd Mayweather just came out and fucking corroborated. He corroborated all of it. You know what I'm saying? So he's basically said that Freddie Roach gave Miguel Cotto the wrong instructions, which is what I said in the post-fight analysis, which is what Sess, my man Hazel, said before in the prediction video, right? We all agreed that Freddie Roach is not showing Miguel Cotto anything new. That's the second point that Floyd Mayweather made, along with Manny Pacquiao. He felt like Freddie Roach didn't show Manny Pacquiao anything new, right? And then he also said they got these trainers that are not 100%. Well, we all know that Freddie Roach isn't 100%. He's got Parkinson's. And he's saying if your trainer's not 100%, then you can't be 100% for a fight. He also said that if you know that your fighter is losing by the 4th round, then why the fuck haven't you changed up the strategy? This is exactly what I said in the post-fight analysis video. He kept telling him, you got to come in behind your jab, but that's exactly what Cotto was trying to do.
It wasn't working.
Exactly. He was getting caught. He was trying to come in behind his jab, but he would stand back while he was coming in. He wasn't coming on the, he was stand back with the jab, but he wasn't moving forward. He wasn't moving inside. He needed to get inside of Canelo to go to the body, to sap up that energy, right? Exploit that stamina problem that Canelo has. Freddie Roach said nothing of the sort. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds like to me, Floyd Mayweather corroborates everything we said, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything he said. You know, Freddie Roach, even when I went back and I watched the fight, Freddie Roach wasn't telling him anything. He was giving him the same instructions that Cotto was doing that wasn't working. You know, and you know, my thing is, if the fighter doesn't have a plan B, the trainer has to have it.
Yeah.
You know, the fighter can do whatever you. A fighter of Miguel Cotto's prowess can do whatever you tell him to do.
Yep.
You just gotta you gotta instill it into him, and he has to trust you.
Yep.
You know that this is gonna work. And I know he trusts Freddie Roach. It was just Freddie Roach not telling him, hey, look, you know, this is what you need to do. You know, so I agree with Floyd, man. You know, I definitely agree with him. You know, Freddie Roach just he's a bit too offensive to where he has his fighters coming forward all the time.
Yeah, and that he doesn't add a dynamic to their games. You know what I'm saying? He just it's like he tells them to be more offensive. I will say this: he does employ a jab into some of his fighters. I mean, Manny Pacquiao's jab has gotten better with Freddie Roach. Miguel Cotto's jab, it didn't get better, but he used it more often with Freddie Roach. I mean, he's a perfect coach for a boxer puncher, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like he doesn't know how to give the right instructions when his fighter is facing adversity.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And another thing, people, Freddie Roach did not change Miguel Cotto.
No.
At all.
And we said this in our prediction video.
Exactly. Cotto wasn't doing anything that I haven't seen him do before. You know? Now, granted, he was throwing his left hook a tad bit more. I'll give him that. But as far as any new dynamic or any new wrinkle, no. He did the same shit. You know, I actually said if Cotto would have been the Miguel Cotto that fought Margarito in the second fight, he probably would have done better.
Yep.
You know, in the second Margarito fight, Cotto was sitting on his punches and he kept turning Margarito.
Yeah.
You know, in this fight, he wasn't. Even though he was turning Canelo, he wasn't sitting on any of his punches.
Yeah.
You know, and he was physically turning Canelo, where he would let off a little combination that wasn't really hard, and he would try to grab Canelo and turn him.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you can't do that. If the dude is too big, you can't fucking do that. You have to make him turn in terms of he has to find you after you finish. And in this fight, it was just bad. You know, like I said, man, Cotto to me, he looked every bit of 35 years old. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna disagree, and you know they're gonna because of the scorecards and because a lot of people think Cotto won. I'm sure they disagree with that, but he just didn't look the same to me. You know, he didn't really look the same, man. I mean, he looked like he was trying to do something that he just wasn't comfortable with doing, you know? And I know Canelo's size had a lot to do with that, but that's where the coach comes in and says, hey, look, now you gotta do this. Get inside of his chest. You know, stay close to him. Yeah. You know, do this, do that. You know, Canelo needs room to punch. That's the one thing about him. He does hit very hard, but Canelo needs room to let his shots off. That's the reason why he steps back and throws the uppercut.
Yes, sir.
You know, because he needs space. What I would have did was I would have told my guy, hey, get right in his chest and rip off body shots.
Close the distance.
Exactly, close the
exactly
distance.
what we've been saying.
Yep, the problem is when you're fighting an elite level fighter, a lot of times you can't go from bad to good with elite level guys. And that night, Canelo was an elite level guy. Right. So when Cotto tried those first few rounds, he tried to really box, and it wasn't really working. You know, it really wasn't working because he didn't establish the pace of the fight.
Exactly.
You know, Canelo came out and established his own rhythm and his own pace from round one.
Good fucking point. I'm glad you said that. And this will let people know why Cotto did not outbox Canelo. You cannot outbox someone if you do not dictate the pace.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're not dictating the pace. See, some people think pace means aggression. That's not necessarily true. If a guy's an aggressor, yes, he's bringing a fight to you, But if you're disrupting his timing by outboxing him, you're the one actually dictating the pace.
Exactly.
Because he's just doing what he knows how to do, and that's come forward. But you're disrupting his timing. He's not. It's ineffective aggression. Y'all have heard of that term before. Ineffective aggression, which means he can't do shit, but he keeps coming forward.
Yeah.
So you're dictating the pace if you're disrupting his timing. This is exactly what Canelo was doing. Cotto was trying to box, but Canelo kept catching him with counters. That's dictating the pace. That's disrupting the boxer.
Exactly. Great point. So what it boiled down to was, like you said, ineffective aggression. Cotto had ineffective movement. He was moving just unnecessarily. You know, he was doing too much moving, and he just could not be effective with what he was doing in certain situations. So that's up to the coach. That's up to Freddie Roach to say, hey, look, fuck that. Okay, we can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, especially, I would have been on Cotto's ass after probably round 3, because you could see the tide of the fight and where it was going. Yeah. You know, Canelo was looking dominant, you know, just with his size and his presence, man. And let me tell you something. When a guy that's not known for defense, when he starts looking defensively very good, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And that's when you have to get on your guy's ass, you know, because if you don't, down the line, he's going to start fucking up even worse. He's going to start reaching. He's going to start stepping over his front foot, and it's just not going to look good. Like I said in our last video, Canelo looked like the more experienced fighter in this fight. And a lot of that had to do with the instructions that Cotto was receiving from Freddie Roach. So I agree with Mayweather, man. It's a good point.
Absolutely. All right, and my last point I want to make, 900K. That's what this fight did. Oscar De La Hoya predicted 1.5 to 2.5 million pay-per-view buys. They got 900K. What do you think, man? I think it was a success because I believe that's the most he's ever put up besides with Floyd Mayweather. So this is the most that he's ever done solo. Yeah. I think it's a success. Canelo is not being billed by the media as boxing's next big thing. Understand that. He's only being billed by one person, and that's Oscar De La Hoya. Mm-hmm. It just so happens that Oscar De La Hoya has a lot of pull within the boxing communities, right? Yeah. To where he can have a lot of other people saying the same thing. But it's not enough to, how do I say, have more popularity in the eyes of the casuals than Gennady Golovkin. When you've got network powerhouses like HBO and ESPN saying you're the next big thing. So the fact that he did 900K, which is 750K better than the next so-called next big thing, it's a success to me.
Oh yeah, nah, man. I absolutely agree with that, man. 900K to me, that's a success. I think as a promoter, you're always gonna shoot for the stars. You know, you're always gonna give these outlandish numbers. You know, especially when you're De La Hoya and you know the whole Golden Boy brand. You know, but I think even though he gave those numbers, I think 900K was probably what he truly expected. Yeah. You know, he probably truly expected around 1 million buys. You know, if not a tad bit less. So that's a great accomplishment for both guys. Yeah. You know, especially granted the undercard that they had. You know, a lot of people don't really watch Guillermo Rigondeaux. Yeah. You know, let's just be honest about it, especially with the type of opponent that he was fighting.
Absolutely.
You know, the Vargas fight was a great fight. It was a great co-main event. But I think with that fight, people got a lot of what they didn't expect.
Well, a lot of people don't even know who, you know, Vargas and Miura are. They don't even know those guys.
Exactly. So you could actually make a case that Canelo and Cotto did probably, man, 800,000 of those buys, if not more. I mean, everybody basically tuned in to see the Puerto Rico versus Mexico rivalry. You know, you got two great fighters fighting against each other. So, and let's not forget this. they did 900,000 buys with a lackluster,
Oh yeah.
Promoting
Yeah.
from both sides. Rock Nation, I felt they kind of dropped the ball in terms of promoting this fight more.
Yep.
Golden Boy as well. So let's not forget that this is 900,000 buys based off of the fighters, not necessarily the promoting and things of that nature. When you really think about the promoting aspect of it,
Right.
We didn't see it plastered all over the TVs and all of that. We really didn't see that. So, man, that's a great accomplishment.
I didn't see a Canelo Cotto advertisement until the night before the fight, Friday night on ESPN when I was watching a football game. And basketball game, and ESPN had put it up, and Sage Steele, that the skinny female with the curly hair,
yeah.
she was talking to Doug Collins and Jalen Rose, and the picture of the fight was on the big screen, and she was like, "Who y'all got?" Doug Collins was like, "I don't follow boxing." You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah. Jalen Rose was like, "I got Canelo." You know what I mean? That was the only time I saw any type of promotion. That's it. Gennady Golovkin, Lemieux, I saw promotion all over the fucking place.
Oh
You know what I'm
yeah. HBO couldn't stop talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So that tells you right there that Canelo has the star power because he has the right backing. And that's what this was all about. It was the fighters. So I think it's a success. Only thing that I need to look at though is the fact that I heard that they needed to do 1.5 million buys at least to turn a profit because of how much money they guaranteed Miguel Cotto. I don't know how much of that is true, but if it's true, then maybe it's not too much of a success.
Yeah, exactly. Damn.
You know what I'm saying? But
that throws another little wrinkle in there then.
yeah, exactly. It is what it is. All right, you two, we're going to go ahead and conclude this. Do what you do in the comment section, but be real. This is real talk for real fans. 1.